record on this computer. All right, perfect. Well, welcome everybody to our first official empowerment night of 2025. I have been waiting since November for this. I am so excited that you guys all made time for this and that you guys have come back. I see a lot of familiar names and familiar faces, but then I also see a lot of new names, so I'm really excited to have you guys here. This week is going to be really amazing. We have things from working on yourself and planning ahead. We have some advocacy stuff we're going to go over. We are going to also talk about how to do some activity-based therapy with a woman from Florida who owns a recovery facility. We're also going to talk about how to find community at any stage in your life. I actually didn't find the wheelchair community until I was 10 years in, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And then we're going to wrap the week up with fitness and foundation. So our awesome friend Tony is coming back and he's going to give us kind of like an outline of how we can be successful all year long. So I hope you guys stay around and enjoy it. Without further ado, first I want to say thank you all for making the time to come and to join us and for pouring into yourselves. But I also want to take time to thank our presenter. Today we are going to have Shameka talking about how to make a vision board and set yourself up for success for 2025. And as you guys know, all of our presenters do this on a volunteer basis. So they are volunteering their time and just sharing their expertise with the community. So thank you so much, Shameka, for sharing your wisdom with us. And without further ado, I will pass it on to her.
Thank you, Brie. This is one I'm glad to be here. Glad to see all of you, those who I know and those who I don't know. Vision boards is one of my favorite topics to talk about. I was just telling Brie I've done a bunch of these workshops. So everybody's thinking about goals and things for, at the beginning of the year. So it's always a great way. Well, I think it's a great way, of really keeping track of your goals and staying focused. I do have some slides, so I'm gonna pull those up. So for those of you who don't know me, I'll just give you a little bit about me. I'm Shameka Andrews. I am from Albany, New York, which is, most people, if you say New York, they think of, the city of New York. But I actually live about 3 hours from New York City. I've lived here all my life. I am a disability advocate for the past 20 years. I own my own consulting company called Disability Empowered Consulting, where I offer workshops in the areas of disability awareness, self-advocacy, and self-care. So that's a little bit about me. And so this workshop is all about creating vision boards. So how many people are familiar with vision boards, have done vision boards? Things like that. All right, couple of you. Awesome. Well, for those of you who may not be familiar, we have some people. Okay, great. All right. So don't really need to tell you what a vision board is, but let's say this is kind of a simple definition that I use. It's a vision board is a visual representation of your goals and dreams. I don't know about you, but I'm a very visual person. And so that's the other reason why I like vision boards. We'll also later in the presentation talk about some other things that can coincide with a vision board. But that are different things. So why do a vision board? I always say that a vision board is kind of like a roadmap to keep you focused on where you say you want to go, right? You can do a vision board for the year, a vision board for the day, a vision board for your week, or even the day. I like to do the month for the month and for the year. You can, and I'll show you some examples of those later um in the presentation. Yeah, the other reason that I like vision boards is, often when we are going for our goals and things like that, there's lots of distractions, lots of things that can come up to keep us from our goals. That's why, a lot of people that use resolutions and things like that, they don't necessarily, get um, get to their goal because, they give up or something, other things come up. So that's the other reason why I like vision boards is I can, even if I get distracted, the vision board is that visual thing to bring me back to what I said I wanted to do or what I wanted to focus on. And if you guys are typing in the chat, I'm going to try not to click on it. I'll go back to it because I know it pops up things for you when I'm sharing. So anything you say in the chat, we can go back to that and I'll address it. Um, so, okay. So how to make a vision board? There's lots of different ways to make vision boards. Uh, most people, when they talk about vision boards, you're probably talking about a physical one where you get together a bunch of magazines and you cut out things and you put it on poster board. I personally like digital um uh, vision boards. And I use a website called Canva. And the thing about Canva is you can make it in Canva, but if you want a physical vision board, you can also print it out from there. So that's what I do sometimes. And I take that vision board that I make in Canva and I put it on my phone. I put it on my all my social media cover pages. So those are places that I know that I'm going to go to regularly that I'm going to see. Because that's the other thing about the vision board. If you're not looking at it regularly, seeing where you are, then there's no point. You got to make sure that you're focused and you're actually making progress. Another place that when I print them out, I like to keep one on the wall and over my bed and also in my refrigerator because I know I'm going to go in the refrigerator at least, because I got girls got to eat. So, so those are some other places I'll put my physical uh, vision board. The other thing that I like to do is once I've accomplished, what's on the vision board, um, I like to put them in a binder so I can go back and see what I've accomplished. But we'll talk more about that a little later. Okay, so you can make a vision boards for yourself, or you can make vision boards with a group. And like I was telling Bree, I've been doing a lot of group ones, for organizations that I volunteer for or work for. So here's some examples of vision boards that I did for myself. These two particular ones focused on health. Um, this was for a challenge that I had signed up for. And this one on the right, oh, the other thing that I like to do as far as goals and things like that is to pick a theme for the year that incorporates my vision board and activities. So for last year, my theme was all about health and healing. So these pictures kind of represented reminders of things that I wanted to do around my health, staying hydrated, meditating, uh, drinking more water, moving, doing more dance, more exercise, things like that. So, and also, like I said, with a group, Miss Wheelchair America is a group that I volunteer for. So we had did a vision board activity together. And this is the board that we had came up with. That was last year. So we did that last year. Um, Here are some other group ones that I recently did for this year. Sanies is the organization I work for. So this is a couple of the boards that we did together of some topics and things and priorities that we wanted to focus on as an organization. So if you volunteer or work for an organization, maybe one of the activities that you want to do together is to do a vision board together about what your priorities are, for the year. So your vision boards can focus on one goal or theme. This is an example of a vision board that I did that focused on travel. So you see there's like get a passport, um, go to Disney. Um, One of the things that's on here that I did do was go to WrestleMania last year. Um, so that was fun. That was in Philadelphia. Um, or you could have a vision board that focuses on multiple goals or themes. This one focuses on, activities of the future that we did. I did with a group of people. Um, so it's all up to you what it is that um, you know, want to focus on and do. The important thing is make it fun. It should be fun. It shouldn't be like another thing on your to-do list or just another chore because, then you won't do it on a regular basis. So it should be fun. I like to make a date for myself, make it as an appointment that I'm sitting down, either by myself or with friends, or if you have, a partner that you want to do a vision board, as a couple, or, what your relationship looks like, or even, your best friend. Doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be, you know, um, your best friend. Um, Another thing I like to really get into it, I like to incorporate the senses, right? Our five senses to really get myself into it, to, make it a celebration. Make your favorite snack or your favorite meal, put on some of your favorite music, wear your favorite outfit. I like to wear comfy, cozy things when I'm doing my vision board. So I'll wear, maybe my Snuggie or something, whatever it is for you. Um, and just relax and put my board together. So some themes and things that you can focus on your vision board, it can be, personal growth and mindset, relationships and community, you know, maybe some organizations that you want to support. It could be about career and finances. I know at one time, getting out of debt and paying up credit cards was part of my vision board for a long time. And like I said, health and wellness, creativity, maybe I know there's a lot of artists, on the call today. Maybe there's some art projects that you want to pursue or goals, adventures and experiences, like trips and travel and lifestyle or spirituality, how you want to connect with your spirituality if that's important to you. So you pick the themes that are important to you. Um, and I like to come up with kind of questions to kind of guide the process. And these are just examples. What are some top priorities for you right now? What does success look like to you? Because that's the other thing when we're going for a goal, different people in our lives might have different ideas of what that looks like, what success looks like, but we have to define success for ourselves, right? What does it look like when you have satisfied that goal or that accomplishment, what does that look like for you? Are there qualities and skills that you would like to develop? you know, how would you like to, are there different ways that you would like to contribute to your community or the world? Um, do you have a dream job or a dream career? And what does that look like? Maybe you want to, that's what you want to focus on for your vision board. Or what are the activities and things that bring you joy? Um, I like to focus on, making daily joy lists, like what brought me joy for that day. So maybe you want to incorporate that into your vision board. Um, the other thing that I like to do, if you're not a visual person, another thing that I like to do go along with my vision board, because the other thing I like to do is crossing things off. So I actually make what I learned about this from another coach called a desire list. So I make a list of things that I want to uh, experience for the year, and I write them as desire statements. So for example, I say, I desire to lose 40 pounds. And, and so I'll keep writing those statements, whatever the goals are. I desire to, have um, you know, a new book out, in 3 months or whatever. And then I like to review that list and check off things as I'm accomplished the list, things on the list. And then the other thing that I like to do when to go along with that is not only to make a board about the goals you're going to accomplish or want to accomplish, but when you do, make a celebration board of the things that you did accomplish. And I like to go through my camera roll every month and take pictures of things and activities that I've participated in, and then I can go back at the end of the month, because sometimes you're going along, I find anyway, that you're going along with your day and things like that, and you forget about how much you accomplish in a certain period of time. So that's why I like to go back and look at all of those memories that I've, you know, had for my month or my year or whatever. So you have that visual representation and those visual uh, memories. So here's some examples of some celebration boards that I put together. This one was from August. And I like to just, like I said, I go about my month and just take different pictures of different things. Like this was a picture of when I went to Niagara Falls. And these were as an street art exhibit. And as I said, I'm a big wrestling fan. So there's during the month of August, there's a big like wrestling convention. So these are some of the wrestlers that I met. So the and then this one was from March, and I did a lot of like TV interviews that month and things like that. My Miss Wheelchair event was that month, the Women's Expo. So that's what these different pictures represent. And you can these are my own pictures, but you can, like with Canva, if you want to use Canva, you can go in and just, use pictures from Canva that represent these things if you don't have, pictures of your own that you want to use. So, so those are my slides that I have to share with you. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I know we had some comments and things in the chat. So I don't know, Bree, if you want to go through that or want me to.
Absolutely. Um, so we have Tanya loved the idea of doing multiple vision boards. She's never heard that before. So that was like a fun new idea for her, doing
Hmm.
the different monthly ones. Um, I've also heard of people doing like different event ones, like listen to this podcaster, and one of her goals last year was to host a tea party. So she made a vision board around the tea party, all the like, the decor and the place settings and things like that. So it's really cool. Um, yeah, there's multiple ones. I've never heard, excuse me, of doing that up until this year, and I actually have a couple myself. I have my over our yearly one, and then I have it broken down into like quarterly goals or quarterly vision boards as well. Um,
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely like you said, if it have, I have my Miss Wheelchair event every year. So I
mhm,
usually do one for that. What are my goals for that?
mhm,
Like one year it was, get 5 contestants or, get 3 sponsors or, so if you have, an event that you're doing or whatever, and you want to, do a vision board for your to have that and say, okay, these are my goals for this event and the
mhm.
things that I want to accomplish for that event. So,
Yeah, I love that. And I think I also loved learning about the new, like how you did a group one with your work. And I think that's something that I could really love to implement with our board and our team is like, what are our goals? How do we want to approach the year? And that just kind of really keeps everyone on the same page and you feel all connected, like everyone has a voice. I think that's really cool too. And then the one other comment that we had, or two other comments was, I made one about making a whole ritual. So you talked about like the candles and the smells and like putting on your comfy things and making your favorite snacks. I think that's a really huge thing to listen to you guys. I do a similar ritual with my planner in the beginning of the year. So, like when I know that I have a new planner that I'm going to fill it out, I usually put on some kind of show that I've already seen, get the snacks, do whatever, and I fill out my entire planner for the year with different colored pens, different fun stickers, and like Shameka said, make the activity fun, make it enjoyable. Um, and so I love that she brought that up that, have a little day date for yourself or as a couple. That's one I've never thought about doing one as a couple, but I think that's a great idea. And when my boyfriend and I move in together in a couple months, I'm gonna be like, okay, vision board date night. Um, so that we can get our goals aligned as well. And then the last comment that we had was from Tanya again, and she loved the idea of having a celebration board, which I did as well. Um, because like you said, we get so bogged down and like still looking forward that we kind of forget to peek back and be like, wow, I already overcame all of that stuff. I already accomplished all this stuff. Um, so I think that's really cool. And I love that you choose them from your camera roll. And I would honestly highly encourage people to really celebrate those moments and capture those moments so you can look back at them.
yeah, that was an important thing to me because I realized like I'm going through to all these different events or having these events, and like especially if you're planning an event and you're putting all this work in, and I realized like I would go through the event and like I wouldn't have anything to like remember it or whatever.
Mhm.
Um so capturing those moments when go back. I remember that was especially important during 2020, during the whole COVID, heightened thing. And going back, at the end of that year and realizing how much I did accomplish, you know,
Right.
even though, we had this, this big uh, this big thing. Um, so definitely.
I love that. So, if you guys are willing, we still have we have quite a bit of time, but I'm not going to hold you up for the whole extra bit. But while we still have some few minutes
Yeah,
left,
I didn't ask you how long we had for, because I couldn't remember if it was 30 minutes or an hour.
we have up to an hour.
Well, okay.
So that
Yeah.
leaves, I will leave it up for I'll leave up room for questions. If any of you guys have questions for Shameka about her presentation or ideas of how to get your own started, now is definitely the time to ask and kind of get some more good feedback. If you don't have any questions, though, I am going to encourage you to drop in the chat. If you haven't done a vision board yet for 2025, are you going to commit to doing it after today? And what are some themes you want to represent on that? Right? Like Shamika was talking about putting hers on all of her phones and screensavers and things. And so that's something that I've been doing for a couple of years now. And so I have mine. Some of the themes are really like independence related, right? Like getting out of debt and financial freedom and getting a place of my own and being able to get my own transportation. At the bottom here, I have my professional, like a fancy closet, right? Because I really want to up level my professional life and my professional wardrobe. So, what are some themes that are you going to put on yours? Is it going to be independence based? Is it, like Shamika said, self-care based, health based, travel based? What are some goals that you want to implement on your vision board? We'd love to hear about it.
Definitely. Yeah. And if you have any questions or whatever, I can, sorry, hold on one second. I just want to let this person know that I'm sorry. Somebody was knocking at my door and I didn't want them to keep knocking.
No, that's okay. We have Amanda's working on hers right now. Amanda Perla loves the idea of a screensaver.
Yeah,
That's
why we have some time, what I can do are well maybe I can ask. Are people familiar with Canva? I know some people are.
Mhm.
I can actually pull it up and show you what it looks like. And people
Absolutely.
um and people can ask questions. Um
Be great for the people who watch the recording later on too, just in case they haven't. Yeah, absolutely, Shamika. You're more than
yeah,
welcome.
yeah. Let me pull it up. I already have some time.
Yeah, I used to be one of those girls who like get the magazines and clip them all out and do all that, but Canva has just made it so much easier. You can literally
Yes.
Google or search any kind of topic or event or anything, or even add your own photos in there. It's so simple.
Yes, definitely. And you can do so much if you're not familiar with Canva. Let me put this up. So when you come to it, this is, I have the free version. You can get, a paid version too, um, if you want to do that. Um, I, you know, for my personal use, I use the free version.
Mhm.
And then, I have access to a paid version from the organization that I work for, but whatever. So once you open it, it'll have, all of the things that you've worked on recently. And you can do vision boards, but there's other things. So you'll see other pictures and things and graphics that I've created in Canva is what you see but um but you can depending on what you want to work on, you can just come up here and they have a ton. You can do uh pre-made templates, or you can do your own. I personally just like using a blank template,
Mhm.
you know, but I mean, you can do whatever. So you would just come up here to templates and you can type in vision board,
Mm-hmm.
or, if you were working on something else, you can type in that. And it gives you some pre-made um templates if you want to use uh those. I mean, you can change them and do whatever
Yep.
if you want to. But like I said, um I like to just use a blank one,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's how I like to do. So like if you wanted to do it for your phone, but you can just do a blank
Mm-hmm.
one. Like I said, I use the blank ones. So then once you click on the one that you want to use, brings you to this, and it has different things that you can add to the canvas. If you want to type in elements, I use elements a lot. So you can do different shapes and, say if you wanted a different background color, you can change the background color. If you wanted to use their photos, say like you type in health, you know, and it gives you
Mm-hmm.
different pictures that are related to health. And you can, select a, photo, um, self-care, and then bring that over if you wanted to do that. Um, you can upload some other photos and things. Um, if you don't like any of the ones that you see there, uh, you can do, like a different backgrounds, if you want the, background to be different, you can, you know, uh, different colors, whatever. And if you're really good at drawing, you can draw, freehand if you want to do that. I'm not good at that, so I usually use the pre-made stuff, or I use my own my own things. You can do like animated like videos. You can do, like different lettering,
Mm-hmm.
like you can do. So there's just so many different things that you can do, not only for vision boards, but anything. The other day I went into a workshop and we did logos. So you can do, and I do a lot of my graphics for social media and Canva.
Yep.
Um,
Us too.
so there's so much you can do.
You can get lost in a Canva rabbit hole. I think I've
I,
even so
yeah,
far as like making like
that's the other thing. Yeah, I
Halloween
have.
invitations. I was like, I'm not even gonna have a Halloween party, but I'm gonna make an invitation anyways because they're so fun.
Yes, you could definitely. I could spend, yeah, hours in Canva, making graphics,
Mhm.
just playing with, like you said, just like not necessarily use it for anything, just do
Yeah,
it because you just want
absolutely.
to.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So yeah, it's a really fun program. And
Mhm.
like I said, I didn't show you that part where you can, hold on, let me bring it back up. Um, Show you where you can, share it.
Mhm.
Um, so up here in the corner where it says share, so you can share, you can also do collaborations with that's, other thing that you can do.
Mhm.
Um, if you want to work on a project with multiple people. And they're on Canva too. You can invite them to, you can see here on the bottom some other people that I've done projects with. So you can, so you're both looking at the same thing at the same time. So you can, and then you can download it if you want to um print it out. Um you can, so you'll have a physical representation if you want to do that as well.
Mhm.
So that is a little bit about Canva. Does anybody have any questions? I see people are typing, but
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions, you're welcome to unmute too. Since we are towards the end of the presentation, feel free to unmute and ask questions, share what your 2025 vision board is going to look like. Amanda shared that hers is going to be very self-care based. I love that. Huge importance. I don't think enough people put enough time into self-care. Sammy is finishing up theirs, adding mobility goals and getting out of their comfort zone. Let's go, Sammy. I'm here for it.
yes, definitely. Yes, getting out of your comfort zone. That's a good goal.
Yep.
Great
Yeah,
goal.
it's a huge goal. And like I kind of shared with you guys, most of mine are really good for, or really around independence, right? Like financial independence, living independence, driving independence. Like I'm just ready to kind of get back on the solo dolo trip and not have to always ask people for rides and things. So that is a huge part of my vision board this year. We will have to check in with each other at the end of the year and see how things go. Maybe then we can share our celebration boards together and see how that all goes. Maybe we can convince Shameka to come back at the end and do something like a wrap up year. I would love that.
Yeah, definitely. Can definitely definitely share your boards.
Hmm.
I love seeing other people's boards and what they've put on their boards. I'll just show you since we have a little bit more time. I'll show you some other things on my social media. Um, Other examples of some boards that I've done. Um, so here's another example of one that I did um, of kind of like themes of things for the year, um, you know, that represented. And this is where I just used pictures that I found on Canva. Um, some different themes that I wanted to focus on: peace, compassion, uh, powerful expression, really, using my voice and things like that. And there's the flyer for this um here's one that that was actually a physical board that I did one year. Um I focused on gratitude and healthy family and things like that. Um Here's another example of some a theme board that I did um, of words and themes that I wanted to focus on for that year. Here's another one where my theme was trust the adventure. And I found these different pictures that represented what I wanted to accomplish that year. So those are some more examples. Um,
Thank you so much. Those are fantastic. And I love that you can go back on your social and find them and kind of see how they've evolved. Um,
yes.
I've kind
Yes.
of watched Jessie. Jessie used to do hard copies as well. And if for you, those of you who don't know who Jessie is, she founded the nonprofit here. So shout out to Jessie for creating a cool space. But she keeps her first original vision board around from like 7 years ago. And when we look back and we're like, oh yeah, she's checked off all of these little things. And we look at the next year and say, oh yeah, she checked off all of these things. It's so cool to watch you grow with your vision boards and with the, keeping those around. So I
Yeah,
definitely
definitely. Yeah,
save the photos, put them online, share them with your friends. I absolutely think that's great. So
yeah, I definitely like that's one of the things it's the good and the bad thing about Facebook is you have
yeah.
Facebook memories. Uh,
Hmm.
if it's a good memory, that's good. It's great and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to go back because I've been doing vision boards since 2014 was the first year so almost over 10 years now that I've been doing vision boards. So I love, and the thing too is I like to, some of the things, they carry over.
Hmm.
If I didn't accomplish them in that year or that time frame or whatever, and that's the other thing about, looking at your goals is, you know, do you want to bring it forward or is it something you want to let go of? Or, that's the other thing that I want to, because sometimes we have things on our list that are just there forever and ever and ever and ever. And
And
it's really
it's okay to outgrow those things, right? Like if you're in a
right.
different season of your life and you're like,
Exactly.
that goal really doesn't align with where I want to go. Like, say I want to train CrossFit fitness and then really you're looking, you're like, you know what? I don't care about CrossFit. I just want to get better with like my cardio, right? So don't when that kind of happens, take it off. It's okay to take things off your vision board that no longer resonate with you. And I think a lot of people think if they take it off, it's like a failure thing. But it's not necessarily that, right? And that was one cool thing that I had learned over the last year or two. Like, it's okay to adjust it. It's okay to do quarterly check-ins. If halfway through the year your vision board isn't aligning with you, make a new one or just take a couple of those pieces off. That's the cool thing about Canva as well, is you can just pop back on your file, change things around, and then re-download it and have that fresh and ready to go. So,
Right. And exactly. That's really, because our our goals should change, right? We like you said, but we outgrow things. I remember I recently found goals we did for when I talked about Miss Wheelchair. I now run the program, but when I was a contestant, I found my goal list for when I applied. And in Bree, you mentioned driving. At that time, driving was a goal for me.
mhm.
'Cause I remember going back and reading that, and then it just wasn't anymore. And it wasn't, because of where I was living, because in a community where it's very, rollable, um, driving wasn't important to me anymore. So I let that go. Um, so, things change as you get older, your priorities change and that's okay. And, and it's okay to let it go.
Mhm.
And I like how you're saying like keeping them because then you can look and see what changes and evolve
Mhm.
your vision and what you want and realize that you aren't necessarily stuck with something. You can change and see where you've come and see where you're going and
Exactly.
I think.
Sometimes you need to experience things to know that that's not what you wanted.
Yep.
And I had to do that. And in some cases, sometimes you need to pursue things to say, oh, okay, yeah, this is not it. So
Well, and
we're
like you said, and maybe by putting it on your vision board, you are able to experience it where you might not otherwise, and then you can decide if it's, like you said, something you want or something you don't want. So that's a great idea. Thank you for all this.
you are so welcome.
Before we go, do we have any last comments, questions, ideas, or anything that anyone likes to share at all, before we send you off on your amazing evenings tonight? No more questions for Shameka or even for the nonprofit or empowerment or anything?
Yeah, I will say this. I think I am connected to most of you on here. There's a couple of faces and names that I don't recognize, but if you do want to connect with me um, after this, I am on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, Shameka Andrews. On Instagram, I am Disability Empowered, which is my business. So you can look for me, connect from there. I also have a YouTube channel where I mostly do meditations there, but there's a couple other things that I talk about there too. But those are just all different ways to get a hold of me and connect with me if you wish to do so after this.
And it's Disability Empowered on Instagram.
Yep, Disability Empowered. Yes.
All right, and I'm going to drop these in the chat for you guys so that you can copy and paste it and save those if you want to find her. So, and I will also attach her socials into the recording as well, so that if you guys, you'll get the recording so you can come back, watch it, and you'll have her information as attached to there also. So, well,
Um,
go ahead.
yeah, I got this in to the other classes that I didn't have a chance to do I didn't have a chance to get this to all of them.
Mhm.
So how do I go back and get this to all the upcoming events?
Perfect. That was a great question. So when it comes to signing up for more events, what I can do is in the recording for tonight, you're going to get an email here in about an hour. You'll have the recording link and you'll also have a link to connect with Shameka. And I can
Okay.
also put in a link, Amanda, for the rest of the week's events. So I'll give you, it'll be like a little collection link and it'll take you to the last four or the next four events for the week. And then you're welcome to sign up for all of those.
Okay. Thank you.
No, thank you for coming. It has been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for sharing so much. If you guys don't have anything else, then I will not hold you up any longer. I think this was an amazing kickoff to 2025 Winter Empowerment. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys took something out of it. If you guys create a vision board after this, please tag Shameka and the foundation. We'd love to see it. I love when people are working on themselves. I've been personally working on myself for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's life-changing. You know, just spending an hour pouring into you, it makes such a huge difference for the rest of your week or for the rest of your month, right? This little hour that we just spent together. This is self-care. So I'm very grateful that you came and supported Wheel with Me Foundation, but I'm even more excited that you guys supported yourselves too. Um, so thank you so much for coming, Shameka. Thank you so much for sharing. I will have to connect with her about coming back at the end of the year so we can wrap it up and see what our celebration boards look like. I think that would be so fun. We have like I said in the beginning, we have a great week lined up. Tomorrow we're gonna have the pushy lawyer join us. Her name is Kelly. She's going to talk about how to be a good advocate for yourself. Wednesday, we are going to have Amanda from Next Step Recovery Center in Orlando. She's going to talk about different activity-based therapies that we can use to kind of stay, motivated and independent and all of those things. Thursday, we are going to be led from one of my really close friends, Gretchen. She is going to talk about how to find community at any stage in your recovery, which for me, since I didn't find the community till 10 years in, that's really an important subject for me. So, and then Friday, like I said, we're going to wrap up with Tony Jacobs. He usually does like a DJ thing, but this time we're going to do fitness and music together. And we're just going to give some tips on how to set yourself up for the year with your fitness foundation. So a lot of great topics.
Cool.
Like I said, I will have the link into the email tonight. So if you're not signed up yet, in about an hour, you'll get a link with the video recording from tonight, and you'll be able to sign up for anything else that you need to. So again, thank you guys so much for your amazing energy and and I will hopefully see you guys all tomorrow.
Hey, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.